Ricardo, how did you miss the weight by that much?
Supuestamente iba a pelear por un título, pero como no pudiste tener el peso y ahora estás sobrepeso, ¿cómo te sientes de eso?
Primero que nada, le doy gracias a Dios, me siento, como dicen, orgulloso de lo que yo soy y de lo que yo hago.
I am very proud of what I do and how I am. That's it.
Is it safe to say that you'll never fight as a welterweight again?
¿Tú crees que entonces no vas a pelear más como welterweight otra vez?
No, pienso que no.
No, I don't think so.
Are you disappointed not to be fighting for the title tonight?
No vas a pelear por el título esta noche, ¿eso no te importa?
La verdad es que a mí lo que me interesa es pelear, porque a mí lo que me gusta es pelear.
The only thing I really care about is fight, because that's all I like to do.
What's going on right now?
Well, I mean, he certainly wasn't expecting to be fighting Ricardо Майорги. Maybe that's better. Maybe you don't have time to think about fighting that wild man, Mayorga, and really focusing in on fighting at Madison Square Garden against a guy like Mayorga. Mitchell, by the way, was supposed to fight as well. His fight fell out, and so he ends up here in the ring with Mayorga with an enormous opportunity.
Yeah, and as we said, this really is a win-win for Mitchell. If he loses, well, they're going to say, hey, it was the last minute. You got in there against a guy like Ricardo Майорги who's been in.
I got to tell you, I was really interested as we take a look now at Ricardo Майорги coming into the ring. As I looked at Wally doing that interview with Mayorga, I was looking at Mayorga's body. He did not look fat. He did not look soft. I mean, I think the welterweight limit, as Wally pointed out, is just probably well beyond his capability right now. He looks to me like he built muscle. He's put some muscle on him. I think maybe his conditioning has taken a different turn to where he is concentrating more on strength training. That's how it looked to me.
Strength training instead of cigarettes and hamburgers.
I think he still imbibes in the smoke.
So at 155 pounds, Ricardo Майорги, it's going to be very interesting to see what he has tonight in particular and at this weight in general. With that, we go to the center of the ring and Michael Buffer.
Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold with black and officially weighing 155 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 16 victories, including 7 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 1 draw. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, West Philly to be exact, here is Eric Murderer Mitchell. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing camouflage, and his official weight stands at 155 pounds. 26 victories in his professional career, including 22 knockouts, with 4 defeats and a draw. Damas y caballeros de Managua, Nicaragua, the former welterweight champion of the world, Ricardo El Matador Mayorga.
Well, clearly a crowd favorite. There's no question about that, Rich.
Well, yeah, this guy certainly inspires people. But let me tell you something. There was some unhappiness too, because I think a lot of these fans didn't even know that the fight with Rivera had fallen out, and they expected to see a world title fight tonight. Of course, the whole thing wasn't settled until earlier today.
Good evening. In fact, you might even say later today. It really wasn't settled until a couple of hours before we got here to Madison Square Garden.
Touch gloves and good luck to the both of you. Let's go. Judge ready. Let's go, champ. Step out. Judge ready.
So round number 1, Eric Mitchell in the gold and black, and Mayorga in the camouflage. His only problem was he couldn't make 6 pounds disappear.
Take a look at that body. I think Mayorga might as well just stay in the 154-pound division if he can make the weight.
Yeah, he does look fit. I will say that. Now, you and I were supposed to meet with him this morning, and we knocked on his door as we were told to do, and they said, no, he's asleep. He was out late last night. We all do our own thing, I suppose. There's a right hand by Mayorga. He can punch. We know that.
Well, the thing about Ricardo as we watch this fight, and not for the title, begin to unfold, is the fact that Mayorga will confuse his opponents by throwing punches from all kinds of different angles, Barry. I haven't seen anybody come from quite so many angles and quite from so many impossible angles with punches as Mayorga does. Mayorga got tagged there with a right hand. In fact, as you take a look at him here, this is about as classic a boxing pose as we've seen Mayorga strike since he hit the big time.
Now, Kori Spinksu, of course, handled him and really never let, in my opinion, Mayorga into that fight. And Mitchell would have been well served to look at that tape.
The crowd is chanting in the background, and they're chanting as I expected, or as I suspected, and we want Rivera, who was supposed to defend the championship here tonight against Mayorga, but the series of circumstances. I'm disappointed though in Mayorga, whether or not, I mean, obviously you don't plan to come into the ring at 153.5 pounds, but they should have seen as the training was unfolding that the weight was not coming off and maybe taking a different tack in the training.
Yeah, I mean, don't you always, have you ever seen a fighter not be weighed by his own camp sometime prior to the weigh-in, and you don't miss by that much?
And, that shows a certain disrespect to the sport that, a championship fighter should not have.
Watch the rabbit punches, okay?
As for Mitchell, he brings a record in here of 16-3-1. He is out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He also has a brother, Aaron, a twin, who is also a professional boxer.
Good left hand by Mitchell.
And of course, a totally different style of fighter than Kori Spinks, and a right hand from Mitchell, who is trying to make a big statement here tonight.
Well, one thing I have to say about Mitchell, he does not appear to be awed by Mayorga, at least in this first round.
Break! Keep it clean now.
That's a pretty good first 3 minutes for Eric Mitchell.
Hey, go. You waiting on this guy. The same thing. Right back stick. Tell him back stick. You hear me? You waiting on him. Stand still on nothing. Just keep it right here. You beat that combination. You back off. Right back with the sharp jab. Set it right back up. You heard me.
You have to throw those lower punches. Don't move back. Don't move back. It's from side to side. You have to work on below. Go to that stomach. When he uses a jab, you use your left hand and the hook.
Seconds out. Come on, let's go.
Another aspect that we should keep in mind here too, Barry, as this fight begins to unfold, is that Mayorga, because of all of the situation that was unfolding in the last couple of days,
keep it clean now, I'm telling you.
Can't possibly have a proper focus here on this fight tonight. He was worried about whether he was going to fight or not. He was worried about his weight. He was wondering about who his opponent was going to be. That is not the way you come into a fight.
Well, Mitchell did nothing if not get his attention in that first round. He tagged him a couple of times.
Mayorga looking much more controlled than he did in his fights with Vernon Forrest and Kori Spinks.
Ron, did Mitchell do enough in that first round?
I thought he did. I don't really feel Mayorga did much of anything at all. And Rich was talking about the difficulties Mayorga might be having, staying focused mentally and so forth. If he's looking for sympathy, he's certainly not going to get it from me. He was completely unprofessional coming into this. So anything problems he created himself, and now Mitchell's trying to create his own problems for him. And frankly, he's really not landing much of anything.
Well, he comes off a fight in which he was none too impressive to begin with. So
that's right. I think Mayorga sometimes comes across to me as a guy who thinks he's entitled. He's entitled to rounds, and he's entitled to the other guy to fall down. And he's not.
Dirty now. Come on.
He's better learn that pretty quickly.
The left hand by Mitchell. Pretty good shot. He ducked the left hand of Mayorga and hit him with his own left hand.
And he caught Mayorga on the way coming in there with a little chopping right hand. I don't think there was any time for any odds to be established on this fight, but believe me, they would be considerable.
Now, that said, Mitchell, he has not, of course, been in there with anything near the caliber of Ricardo Mayorga, but hasn't lost a fight since back in 1998. That said, he hasn't fought a lot. He had one fight in 99, didn't fight at all in 2000, one fight in 2001, and a couple last year. This is his first fight of 2004.
He is muscular. He looks very strong. He is strong. He is not, however, a big puncher. He has 7 KOs and 16 victories. He's known more as a boxer, although his last fight he did score a 1-round KO over Alejandro Barria. Mitchell's right in this fight.
Oh, absolutely so. And he's a fighter from South Philly, so you have an idea he's not going to back down. He's a chopping right hand from Mayorga, but not much behind it.
Let's stop holding out, fellas. Come on. Let's box.
Look at Mayorga, the way he's fighting here tonight. Just think of the way that he came out loaded for bear against Vernon Forrest. Mayorga got rocked.
He walked right into that right hand from Mitchell. And another good round from Mitchell. A little punch after the round.
Mayorga needs to stay out of Mitchell's corner as he walks over to Mitchell's corner. Now they get him to go over back to his own corner.
No, fue al aire.
It's just, I'm sure Mitchell just a little something to remember him by.
Ricky, este no tiene nada como lo golpea abajo. Cuando yapea, tiene que avanzar con el shock, ¿ok?
You have to move forward, and you have to use that jab. And you got to go to the lower body. You have to have confidence and rhythm. Right, left combinations on the lower body. Throw punches on the lower body, move side to side.
You see that right hand, which Mayorga ran into, not walked into, Barry. Man, and that is a clean shot right in the nose.
So Ricardo Mayorga is, at the very least, has drawn, I should say Eric Mitchell has drawn the attention of Ricardo Mayorga. There's a good right hand from Mayorga, his best punch in the fight. Ron Borges has been a brawl so far, and the Philadelphian getting the best of it. It's been surprising, and I think Mayorga is the most surprising. It looks almost like he's a little bit confused. He wants to just come in and fire and land and get rid of this guy, but Mitchell's refusing to cooperate. Mayorga's the kind of guy with judges, I think sometimes you're so fixated on him, but if you're not careful, you don't notice that the other guy's doing a lot of damage. That's a very good point, I think. I think Mitchell has to keep his composure here, though, Rich. He doesn't want to get into fighting Mayorga's fight.
Well, I haven't even seen Mayorga fighting Mayorga's fight so far. I don't know what this is, but this is not the same kind of style that we saw against Vernon Forrest, or even unsuccessfully against Kori Spinksu.
It's the style of a guy with some money. That's exactly what it is. See, I didn't think he fought a very good fight against Spinks either. I thought he never made the adjustment, and I think that's the difference between a guy who fights and a guy who's a student of the game.
Well, he may be trying here tonight, though. This is a more controlled Ricardo Mayorga, a more boxer-like, a more stylish Ricardo Mayorga. And that hairdo was certainly very stylish with that blonde hair.
Mayorga got the better of that, both through a right hand. Mayorga's knocked Mitchell backwards.
Michael McCanny Jr., the referee, getting between the two. His father refereed in this ring, in this building, perhaps the most famous fight of ever. Ali and Frazier, March 8, 1971.
And he's in the building again tonight. He was a judge in our first fight.
Let's stop holding, fellas. Too much hold.
Mayorga seeming to find a little bit better rhythm in this round, Barry, than he showed in the first two.
There's a good right hand from Mayorga. Mayorga seems to be getting on track a little bit more here in this third round.
to come right over the top, not even over the top, down from the top, straight down in a chopping fashion on his opponent with right hand.
Yeah, it's effective.
Much better round for Mayorga. All right, we take a look at that last round. You see Mayorga trying to come over the top, but he got caught with the right and then came on with a counter of his own. Mitchell bouncing back a couple of feet. Didn't seem to hurt him too much.
How many times have we seen that chopping punch to the back of the head put an opponent down?
It can hurt. In fact, when Joe Macy got hurt by Giroff, it was with a punch to the back of his head that he really never recovered from, that he got hit with in the 9th round.
So you gave that to Mayorga, as we both did, and the fight's getting closer.
Stop complaining and stop the kidney punches. That's 3 for you. One more, taking a point. Box.
Third warning to Eric Mitchell there.
There's that chopping right hand again from Mayorga, and another left hand slipped in as well.
Right, now that was much more Mayorga-like. That's what we have grown to expect. Awkward angle. Doing things that his opponents have never seen. And consequently really can't train for, because they can't find people that can do that.
Watch your head in there. Oh, wait. Step back. Watch your head.
There's that whistling left hand. There's that chopping right again.
He wanted to throw it too when he was holding on to it. You know, I think a number of people were disappointed when Mayorga was beaten by Kori Spinks. Not out of disrespect to Kori Spinks or any real feeling about Kori Spinks, but I think a lot of fans were kind of hoping that Mayorga would be, well, one of the ones, you know, one of the special people, another Duran maybe, that type of thing.
I just thought Kori Spinks won that fight before they ever entered the ring, I thought. He just was prepared, I thought, as well as you could be prepared to fight anyone. And I think that's credit to his corner, his trainer.
Now Mayorga getting to Mitchell. His right hand's beginning to take a toll. He's going to be hard to beat when he's got a guy standing in front of him. When you fight a conventional style against Mayorga.
Mitchell really unable to do much business. That left hand just was a little short.
Right! Step back. Hey, on the frame. Come on.
Quick combination, left hand and the chopping right by Mayorga. There it is again. Mitchell countered with the left hand, but he didn't get a lot on it. And the 4.
Mayorga waves to the crowd. I think he feels he himself is getting on track a little.
Bring the towel in. Lift those hands up.
Get to the corner where you can throw the water in the corner. Ricardo.
That man is dead. Ricardo, that man, it's dead.
Sit down and be around. Hey, that's from the commission. All right, champ. I want you to keep it over. Okay. No me está muerto. Tiene que trabajarlo lateral como aquí. There's nothing going wrong. There's nothing wrong. When he's coming over the top with the right hand, you understand? You got to punch off the weave with him. You understand? You got to punch off the weave when you come back. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Tiene que tener más ritmo. Sucked it up.
You want Eric Mitchell, when Mayorga comes over to the top, to come up with an uppercut of his own. And he comes down with that tomahawk chop punch. Give Mayorga a little something to think about.
Well, Ron, how do you see this one so far? It should be as it is on your card. Well, I think Mayorga's coming on now, and you can see that Mitchell is reluctant to let his hands go now. What he was doing in the first 2 rounds, he's now not willing to do. he's getting hit with that overhand right. It's all fine and good for his corner to tell him what he should be doing, but the fact of the matter is, if you watch, you can see his hands are just not moving at all. He's just getting hit with everything.
Pretty good combination right there from Mayorga. Mayorga, as both you guys indicated, has really gotten himself on track here.
Mayorga seems to be getting more into the fight now. Those first 2 rounds, he seemed a little uncomfortable to me.
And Mitchell's giving him no resistance. Whereas earlier in the fight he was.
There's that right hand again and a vicious left to the stomach and then a left uppercut. Unusual combination, but it works for Mayorga. Let's have a right uppercut and a left cross.
Now, Mayorga may yet prove to be one of the ones. Now it will remain to be seen how he can compete as a junior middleweight.
A couple of good body shots by Mayorga, and that dropped the elbows of Mitchell.
I think the attrition now is beginning to tell on Mitchell. The punches of Mayorga are beginning to take effect. I do think Eric came into that ring to win this fight. And in the first 2 rounds was actually doing better than his opponent, Mayorga was.
He's been disabused of that notion, I think.
I don't know if I like the more controlled Mayorga.
Well, there's a lot of clashing of heads here now.
Yeah, there is.
See Mayorga's getting upset about that. If this continues, something bad's going to happen in one of these fights. Mitchell's really diving in now.
Mayorga yelling at Mitchell.
Yeah. Mayorga loves a good fight. Mayorga now sitting down.
Ricky, tú tienes que pegarle al hombre al cuerpo o tienes que ir con más ritmo.
You have to have more rhythm and you have to hit him in the body. You have to do that.
Más cerca con el hombre, golpeando la izquierda y la derecha. Okay?
Left hand, then your right hand. When you move up, then use your right hand uppercut.
Jab y el upper de derecha.
Jab, 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 your right hand, your right hand.
Tiene que rocharlo más, que no quiere pelear.
This guy doesn't want to fight anymore. He's almost done.
Sigue con el ritmo. Tiene que poner el
Let's take a
ritmo.
look at what happened. As you can see, Mayorga putting his punches together. That a real effective combination there. 2 rights, then going downstairs with the left hook to the body. That was good work from Ricardo. Some of his best work of the fight.
Nice going, champ. Nice shot.
Those punches very accurate, and you could see, Barry, too, that he was looking to pinpoint those punches. He wasn't just throwing out punches with no regard.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten himself into a rhythm of this fight, and you have the sense he would like to get this over with.
Break! Let's keep it clean. Break.
I think you really have to like Mayorga. He doesn't often give you the same look twice.
Ricardo is about to take a point away from Mitchell.
He does.
This is for hitting on the break. This is the 4th warning that Mitchell has gotten for various reasons from Ricardo during the course of the fight. And that time he felt that he had to deduct.
That's the last time. Time in!
So that makes the task facing Eric Mitchell even a little more daunting now. He figures to have fallen behind on points at this point. There's a low blow from Mayorga.
Okay? You okay? It's a warning now. It's a warning. You all right?
Dr. Canty Jr. saying that's a warning.
Now, there'll be no point deduction here. I think Mayorga landed the more damaging blow than did Eric Mitchell when he hit on the break.
Mitchell just taking a little bit of the time allotted him for that low blow. They touch gloves.
Break!
Hey. Well, and there McKenzie said break, and Mitchell just came on and hit him with a left hand.
Break! Listen! Come here now!
McKenzie's going to get tough now.
Can we have a clean fight? You understand? Let's knock it off! Act like champions. Break.
Lead right hand by Mayorga that did sneak in. Mitchell missing with most of those.
He did partially land that right hand, though. Mayorga got a little careless coming in. Because Mitchell has not been putting anything back on Mayorga to discourage him on the way in.
Stop the talking.
Hunter McKenzie Jr. telling Mayorga, stop talking.
Oh, break. Come on.
Mitchell hit on the break again.
There's a big right hand by both men. Mayorga, big right. Mitchell coming right back in one of his own.
Mitchell going to try to smother Mayorga here at the game up against the rope.
See if that's a confidence builder for Mitchell here.
Again hitting on the break. McKenzie is getting frustrated. He's already deducted 1 point.
Break! On the break, step back. That's it. Nice. Come on. Break!
Well, an eventful 6th round.
Listen, I don't want to take any more points away. So let's keep it clean, okay? You understand? Let's keep it clean.
Jab, man, jab. Off your combination. Hey, respect. Lay back. You jab him, you sets it right back up. Drink the water.
Tienes que subir la mano izquierda, ¿ok?
You gotta use that left hand. You cover his face with the right hand. You gotta use that left. You gotta throw that upper right through the middle. Move back and take that step forward.
Got a lot going on in that 6th round, not the least of which that really bad low blow by Mayorga. There's a good chopping right by Mayorga, and Mitchell came back with one of his own.
But a point deducted from Mitchell in that round. And if in fact Mayorga won that round, then that would make it a 10-8 round. How'd you see that round, Ron? I gave that round to Mayorga. It was actually a little bit difficult round to score, I thought. And then you get the point deduction, and it turns, as you said, into a 10-8 round that really it shouldn't have been. It was a closer round than that. But Mitchell, to me, looks to me like a guy who's starting to lose his resolve a little bit, which is leading him to do some of these things like hitting on the break. You see that, and you tend to think the guy is looking for a way to get out of here one way or the other. Either I'm going or he's going.
Yeah, I didn't look real excited, Ron, in the corner when they were trying to encourage him.
Wow. Keep your opinion to yourself.
Come on, stop showboating.
Double right hand from Mayorga.
Well, Arthur McKenzie just doesn't want Mayorga to have any fun. Telling him, don't talking, stop showboating. It's like an NFL game breaking out.
That's right.
Break! Step back, and break.
Mitchell needs something lightning like to happen. Although he doesn't seem like he's really trying to make something happen.
Break!
Mitchell right now trying to out-brawl the brawler.
Break! Stop now.
Mayorga is looking for a fight with Felix Trinidad, who went up to 160, of course, a couple of years ago, would be coming out of retirement.
I think Don King's looking for that fight.
Winky Wright's available, of course, at 154. Ron, I wonder how do you think Mayorga would fit in that 154 mix?
Well, that would be an interesting match of styles, right? In Mayorga, you got the ultimate brawler and a very good boxer. Mayorga, I think a lot of Mayorga's weaknesses would be exposed in that as they were against Kori Spinks.
The right hand by Mitchell.
Yeah. Now, what is that?
I'm not sure what that was all about.
He walked up to her and hugged him.
Great. I think what you're saying is a little bit of what some people call the silent contract by Mitchell. I get to decide I hold you. If you won't punch me, I won't punch you. And you get exposed a little bit because Mayorga stepped back.
Well, the end of round number 7. Right now we're going to go backstage where Wally Matt. Thanks very much, Wally. Okendo, as we said, extremely confident in his ability to beat John Ruiz. And Ruiz is just one of those guys who goes out and beats everybody by hook or by crook. So it should be an interesting fight. That's our next fight for the WBA Heavyweight Championship.
Well, one thing I like about it, and one thing about that fight is that it's seen by the media as a very competitive fight. By the fans, there's been a lot of two-way talk. I mean, in terms of predictions as to who was going to win that fight, Okendo or Ruiz. The mouthpiece of Mitchell's been knocked out. I don't know if McCanny has seen that yet. Well, there's the lull. He must not have seen the mouthpiece because he had a lull in the action there and he didn't pick it up. Now he actually kicks it. McCanny just doesn't realize that the mouthpiece has come out. He just looked down and got out.
Break! Time! 30 corner. Come on, let's go.
A little tape hanging from the glove of Mayorga as well, so I have an idea we're going to get another timeout here in just a moment.
Try keeping it in your mouth.
They clean off the mouthpiece, and now time is back in.
Break!
This is round 8 of a 10-round fight.
Get ready with tape.
McCanny just started the tape, and he's getting a little bit peeved, it appears to me, at both of these fighters in the way this fight's going. Look on his face was not happy.
Boy, Mayorga just not fighting the way that he did in the style that made him so popular with everybody. He's making a conscious adjustment here into being a more stylish fighter. And then exploding at times and unloading flurries.
Break! Time!
But I think one thing that left them so effective as they go now to work on the tape is because you didn't know what to expect from him, in there.
Very unorthodox in his previous style, right? Those angles that he was coming from everywhere. And now he looks like he's almost very undecided. He's like a guy he went to the golf range, someone's changed his grip, and now he doesn't know quite what to do.
Break! Step back. Come on, man, let's
maybe a higher pitch on him. What do you think?
Couldn't hurt.
There's an opening there.
Yeah. There's a good right hand, clean right hand by Mayorga. But Mitchell's just right there on the mug.
You're right, McCanny is peeved at these guys.
He's really upset. Mitchell. That may have been Mitchell's best shot.
I don't know why McCanny got between the two there. Mayorga was ready to unload and run after Mitchell. They certainly weren't locked in any kind of a clinch.
One step back to the head.
Well, Mitchell finding a little something here in this 8th round.
Nice, fellas.
Right hand by Mitchell. Mitchell's gotten there with a few punches here in round number 8.
Not really an easy fight for Ricardo Mayorga.
Where's the main? The main gets got.
You expect a guy on one day's notice?
Coge el aire.
Breathe in, come on.
Y coge el aire, duro.
Breathe in hard.
Coge el aire de nuevo.
Breathe in again, come on.
Toma agua. Toma agua.
Drink a lot of water, come on.
No coja chance, compadre.
You cannot give him a break. You can't give him a break.
Una pelea ganada. No te hay que coger chance, hay que subir la mano izquierda.
You gotta keep using that left hand.
No te van a coger chance.
You're not working it, and don't give him any chances.
Okay? No te coges chance con el hombre. Tiene que tener la iniciativa.
All right, let's take a look. You see Mitchell winding up with that right hand. Mayorga trying to roll with the punches and roll his shoulder to block the punches. There Mitchell setting up the right hand by holding that jab out as a measuring stick. And Mayorga tried to answer back, but he really wasn't effective there. Mitchell landed the much harder blows in that exchange. Mayorga trying to take away some of the power of those punches by rolling with the punches.
Let's go.
Tonight I want to thank Hector Garcia, who is our interpreter in the corner of Ricardо Майорга. That is his voice that you hear between rounds.
But Mayorga doesn't mind eating punches, though. Remember that second fight with Vernon Forrest, Ron? He sat there and put his hands down and let Forrest hit him 4 straight rights to the chin.
Yeah, well, that's right. He did. You wouldn't normally advise a guy to do that, but he was a little bit of a different Mayorga.
And wasn't he told, don't ever do that again?
I'm sure he was.
So you gave Mitchell that round.
Break.
I did
back.
not.
Watch the elbow now.
I got a feeling that the judges here in Europe are going to be looking a lot more at Mayorga than the Irish Mitchell. My guess is that their cards are going to be different from ours.
Wait! Step back.
Mayorga has not been the Mayorga that most people expected, and Mitchell's had something to do with it.
I think he's giving it a shot here. I don't think he's winning the fight by any stretch of the imagination, but he hasn't just folded the tent.
And I think, Mayorga after this fight is going to have to decide, what Mayorga he wants to be inside that ring and what Mayorga he wants to be outside that ring in training, too. And, in what division does he want to compete? In what style does he want to fight? These are big questions when a guy's 30 years old and already been to the mountaintop and lost the title.
You're right. If he wants to fight this kind of style, his defense is going to be a lot better. He just got hit with his right hand about 20 seconds ago that normally you wouldn't get hit by if you're
Break. Step back
and his left.
That's a nice round, fellas. Nice round.
But I don't think he's even sure quite now what he's supposed to be there. Those who are in the conspiratorial bench, like the Rivera camp, believe that the reason he came in the way he did was that whatever was going on in camp wasn't working, and they were concerned that he might lose the welterweight title, and there goes the Trinidad fight.
Well, and based on tonight's performance, could be substance.
There's a lot more trouble if he's in with Rivera. He was a counter puncher and liked to work on the inside and would be moving his hands a lot more than Mitchell has.
I tell you, watching the Spinks fight, and I said this earlier, and I don't mean to be ripping on Mayorga, but he never adjusted. And I think, when he fights a guy like Rivera, tough guy to fight, you better be able to make adjustments.
That's correct.
Do you think Rivera might have made a mistake, Ron, by not stepping in there tonight?
I don't think so. I just think the weight was too much. You're really talking about he's weighing in at 56. He's probably over 60 now. And Rivera's really a 150-pound guy walking around the street, so it's too much weight.
Break.
Coming to the end of round 9, 10 seconds left. Better round for Mayorga here. Mayorga is in the process of probably getting the win here, but he may win the fight, but I'm not sure how many fans he's going to win.
You're right, actually, it is unusually long. That whole hand wrapping thing, Felix Trinidad Sr. had problems with that with his son, his Richmond, and it was here in New York, and he got upset about it.
It's the 10th and final round. That is not a knockdown.
Although Mitchell having a little trouble getting to his feet.
Break. That's it.
Uppercut from Mitchell. Counter right hand by Mayorga missed.
Looks like Mitchell wants to go out and give it a shot in the last round. But I mentioned that a lot of people were hoping that Mayorga might be another Roberto Duran type guy, one of those really special guys. And I do remember that Duran used to also fight a number of non-title fights when he was at his best, even when he was a lightweight champion and fighting top contenders. He would take a 1 or 2 non-title fights between title defenses, and he didn't always look impressive in those title defense, in those non-title fights. But when it came down to fight with the title on the line, it was a different guy that got in there.
Break. Come on. Last round. Let's be clean. Watch your head. Come on. Break.
Tape's coming loose again. Well, we're certainly not seeing Mayorga at his best. It might be enough to win.
Break.
What do you think the odds were that the Wayne Braithwaite Louis Azil fight and the Riccardo Mayorga Eric Mitchell fight were both going to go the distance?
Long. we had a parlay, we could all take the rest of the night off.
You better believe it.
Break.
25 seconds left in this one.
It's like McCanny's just going to let it play it out even with the tape loose on Mayorga. Well, Mitchell came in here, Barry, and he tried hard against Riccardo Майорга. A relatively unknown fighter, stepping in there against a very well-known fighter.
Nice ball. Come on.
This is not going to be necessarily real popular with the fans because they're not necessarily angry. I think they might be booing at that weight still, Barry, and the fact that they're not seeing the title fight that they had hoped to see tonight.
I think that's exactly what it is. And we started this by saying that it's a win-win for Mitchell, and I think even though I feel fairly certain he's going to lose this fight to Mayorga, he's going to get some other fights because of this.
Well, very likely. Well, he went out there, he tried hard. He's only got, himself 20 fights coming into this fight, and he acquitted himself very well.
Not a big puncher, only had 7 knockouts coming in to this fight. Won the first 2 rounds on all our cards here at this table, and I would expect on the judges' cards. And then Mayorga did get back into the fight. A lot of punches thrown, a lot of punches landed in that 10 rounds.
Yeah, even in the 10th round. Mitchell was still trying to give it a go. Well, we'll see how the judges end up scoring it. I think Ron Borges had given Eric 3 or 4 rounds along the way.
And there was that point deduction in the 6th round.
Mayorga, more sportsmanlike than necessarily we've seen him. He's certainly not lighting up a cigarette at this point.
No. We are just about set to go with this decision in this fight.
But I would like to see Ricardo in more big fights, against the people that he's really focused against and gets in the best of shape against and is fighting his best against.
And I feel the same way, and he's going to be fighting at a different weight. There's no question about it. Let's see about this one. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Luis Rivera scores at 99-90. Glenn Feldman has it 98-91. And Tom Schreck scores at 97-92. All unanimous for the winner, Ricardo El Matador Mayorga.
Well, it gets a mixed reaction from the fans here at Madison Square Garden. In fact, I'd say it's probably more anti than pro.
The thing is they're not booing the decision, Barry, or even the fight probably. I think there's some disgruntled fans here who wanted to see Ricardo Mayorga fight Jose Rivera, and I don't blame them for that. I mean, they wanted to show up and see Mayorga in a title fight tonight. And that did not happen. Once again, boxing, you never know what to expect. And Mayorga coming in 6.5 pounds overweight yesterday. He had to fight in a really unusual situation here tonight, fighting way over what he was supposed to, fighting an opponent he was not going to fight, fighting with nothing really on the line other than he had everything to lose. It wasn't for a title. But he got through it. As I said, Duran wasn't always impressive in those non-title